Let me give me a second. Let me check to see if our stream is okay. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me check. Make sure the stream is okay. All right. Let's see. Do we have? Let me have volume. All right. All right. So we have volume. It's good. All right. I'm Dr. Yasapa. Welcome. If this is your first time here for Astrotheology, we're going to go through a book called The Devil's Pulpit. All right. This is The Devil's Pulpit. Let me try to, you can get this online as a free PDF. The Devil's Pulpit, written by Dr. Robert Taylor. All right, this is written by Dr. Robert Taylor. I'm going to read this, explain what it means, because this book was published in 1857. So the English is actually, to be frank, this is a very difficult read. It's a very difficult read, but if you download it, print it off, bind it like I did, you can more easily follow along, and you can either learn or practice your reading comprehension skills, right? Just following along with this is going to help you improve your reading comprehension. You're going to learn some skills, right? Because you're going to see what I'm doing in order to understand it. This book has nothing to do with religion. It has to do everything with science, philology, okay? Philology, history, linguistics, etymology, context, like contextual criticism type of thing. So the whole idea of this whole thing is to learn, practice, develop the habit of thinking critically instead of just accepting something, okay? So this is what we're going to do, and you're gonna really, really enjoy this. Don't think because we're gonna read it, it's not gonna be fun, because this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun. Just hang around with us and you're gonna see, just stick with us, all right? Stick with us. Now, what you're looking at on the screen, these are our products, 2 of them that I want everyone to support us with. Buy them, okay, buy them. You can see the 911 Ibaryath Rescue book is on sale. It's $29. You can buy that book directly on Amazon. So if you want to support us, buy that book. I have about 100 of them that I want to sell immediately. So if you want to support, buy copies of 911 Ibaryath Rescue. You can use this book as a complement to the one-on-one Ancient Ibaryath streaming online course, okay? So that's going to help you. That course is basically free, right? It's almost free, $1, and then $10 to subscribe. But the value of that streaming course, I could easily ask for $10,000 for the course, easy. Check with your local synagogue or Hebrew school to find out how much they charge for their Hebrew classes. And they're not even teaching your stuff. I'm teaching Ibaryath. It's 113 lessons. That's your heritage. And I'm basically giving it away so that everyone can have access to it, no matter where you are on the planet, no matter what the value of your money is, okay? So there it is. So support us if you like our content, right? You can support us by buying our books. We have, I think, 7 books listed in the description area of this video that you can buy if you want to support us, or you can give a one-time or a recurring donation through our PayPal. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's get it going. Let's get it going. All right, so let me remove these from the screen and we are going to get busy. All right, we're going to get busy. Let me get my, let me get everything set up and then we can go. I need to pull the document up. Be patient with me, please. All right, so here we are. Here we are. All right. So here we are. All right, just one moment, y'all. Before mic check, 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 mic check. Mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. All right, it seems like we have sound now. So mic check, mic check. Let's see, I think we have sound. Let me just check. There's a delay, y'all. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. All right, it seems like we have sound now. So check, mic check. All right. So there's a delay. Let's see, I think we have sound. Let me just but we should be go. We should be good to go. Put a 1 in the comments, please, if you can't hear me. If you cannot hear me. Also, like and share the video, y'all. Let's try to get a lot of people in here, okay? Please like and share the video right now. Okay, like and share the video right now. All right, so. All right, yeah, I think we're good to go, y'all. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Dang, what page are we? Okay, y'all, we're starting on page 197. We're starting where the highlight is. Page 197. All right, here we go. It is the autops, James and John. Y'all will remember the autops are those secret society members who were given special privileges because they reached the top or the highest level possible in the secret society. Therefore, they got a privilege. All right. Therefore, they got a privilege. Okay. No others get it. You have to be at the highest level. What's that privilege? You get to see the kingdom of the heaven. That means you get to know it. So let's continue. This is what autops means. It is the autops, James and John, who with Peter were favored with this privilege of autopsy, with whom we are now to become acquainted. And that is more than any Christian on earth dare trust himself to do. Inquiry and knowledge in all cases, being fatal to faith. Understand that, y'all. The author is asserting that knowledge and criticism. Remember, inquiry is simply asking questions, which is criticism, critical thinking. So critical thinking and knowledge of what? Knowledge of what? If you've been here from the beginning, you should know. The author asserts that one must have a knowledge of how the constellations are formed, which stars to connect to form each of the constellations. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at something that looks like a wilderness, right? It has no form, just a bunch of lights everywhere. That was the first thing. Second, one must have a knowledge of etymology, linguistics, right? How language works, the mechanics of it, the concepts. All right, the concepts of language, etymology, linguistics, grammar rules, so on, all of that. One must also have reading comprehension, right? And a knowledge of the history and culture associated with the document that they're reading. The next body of knowledge is church father writings, right? Architecture as it relates to the topic, right? And then what else, scholars? Do you remember? What was the other one? A knowledge of mythology as it relates to the topic. As it relates to the topic. Okay, so now let's continue. So critical thinking and all of those bodies of knowledge, in all cases, all means the whole, 100%. In 100% of the cases, being fatal to faith. What is faith? If you look at the gospel definition of faith, it is the assured expectations of things hoped for, although yet not beheld. So it's a hope. It's a hope that has no basis in evidence, right? All right, let's continue. I hope that's clear. Well, Mr. James and John, why were you and St. Peter fixed upon to be the only autops, i.e., the only witnesses of the metamorphosis of Christ upon the sunshiny mount? It's a very good question, right? Because one of those apostles said that the most powerful, reliable evidence that the Christ figure and Christianity is real is the Transfiguration, which is literally metamorphosis and or sonified, or the Christ figure became the Son. This is in the episode from yesterday. All right, so go back and check that if you want more review on that. All right, but I highly recommend everybody go and start from the first video all the way and continue to the end. Why didn't ye take Thomas with you? Our friend Tommy. It's a good question. Why didn't Thomas get to go? The unbelieving, honest-hearted Tom, the only sensible man among ye. Why is he saying the unbelieving Thomas was the only sensible man? Because Thomas questioned and Thomas required evidence before he believed. That's why he's saying Thomas was sensible. Okay. All right. Why didn't ye take Thomas with you, our friend Tommy, the unbelieving, honest-hearted Tom, the only sensible man among you, if men or anything like men he had been? The clergy ye see in all ages and all relations were well aware that the apostle of infidelity would take the shine out of them. In other words, they didn't take Thomas because Thomas would have asked questions and doubted. All right, that's what it appears the author is writing. Okay, now let's go to the next paragraph. Let's go back one page. So we're here, next paragraph, we are here. Oops, we are here. It reads, we first hear of James and John in the 4th of Matthew, where they are found by JC, the Christ figure, on the Sea of Galilee, and are called two brethren, James, the son of Zebedee, and John, his brother, who were in the ship with Zebedee, their father, mending their ships. And JC, the Christ figure, called them, and they immediately left the ship and their father and followed him. One of the things I wonder about, why are they written to be brothers? Why are they written to be brothers having the same father? I'm curious about that. Always been curious about that. Let's continue. Thus, commencing their apostleship with an act of the grossest filial disobedience and ingratitude, leaving their poor old father Zebedee to mend his nets himself and to get his ship to land. The devil might care how, why they ran strolling up and down the country after a person who, for all that appears in the history, if a history it had been, was nothing more than a mountebank quack doctor who pretended to have dealings with the devil and to cure all manner of diseases. In other words, the author, in my opinion, is saying they didn't know anything about this Christ figure. So why did they leave their father and chase after someone who could have been, a quack doctor selling snake oil? All right, next paragraph. But not for a moment must we lose sight of the curiously dropped stitch in the weaving of the story, that these two brothers, let's change the page, that these two brothers, let me change place, that these two brothers, James and John, were called to be disciples of Christ immediately after calling, hold on, y'all. Let me change the page. I got to turn my page. Immediately after calling of two brothers, Simon called Peter and Andrew his brother, and that by the same Sea of Galilee and from the same avocation, running after the fishes. Okay, so let's see. James and John were called to be disciples of Christ immediately after the calling of two brothers, Simon called Peter and Andrew his brother. So two brothers were called, Peter and Andrew, or Simon and Andrew, right? And then came another pair of two brothers, which is James and John. Let's go to the next paragraph. So here were two brace of brother fishermen, the brothers Peter and Andrew, who, as Peter was called Simon Peter, and Simon Bar Jonah, were the sons of Jonah. And the brothers James and John, the declared sons of Zebedee, which James and John, notwithstanding their being expressly called the sons of Zebedee, received from Christ himself the surname of Boanerges, which is the son of thunder. That can be found at Mark 3, verse 17. I need to read that again, y'all. My wow, what's going on with that? My air conditioning unit isn't working and I'm burning up. Hold on. Let me see. Wow, what's going on with my air conditioning? Sorry about this, y'all, but it's getting hard for me to breathe in here. What is going on? Well, it's not working. Ah, shoot. Well, if it ain't one thing, it's another. All right, let's continue. So here were two brace of brother fishermen, the brothers Peter and Andrew, and who, as Peter was called, Simon Peter and Simon Bar-Jonah. All right, were the sons of Jonah. So Jonah and his two sons. And the brothers James and John, the declared sons of Zebedee. So Zebedee and his two sons. All right, so Zebedee's two sons and Jonah's two sons. All right, go back to Zebedee. Zebedee's sons, which James and John, notwithstanding their being expressly called the sons of Zebedee, received from Christ himself the surname of Boanerges, which is the sons of thunder. Okay, now I understand that. So James and John's father is Zebedee. They're the sons of Zebedee. But the Christ figure gave them the surname of Boanerges, which is the sons of thunder. So the Christ figure is saying that they're now the sons of thunder rather than the sons of Zebedee. Let's continue. So the sons of thunder then, was the old man Zebedee the thunderer? What became of Zebedee, old Zebedee? His disobedient sons might leave him his ship, meaning his rotten nets, and all there in end of him. So will not we? In other words, his son left him. Should we leave him alone too? If James and John acquired the name of Boanerges, which is sons of thunder, hold on, y'all, which is sons of thunder, okay, hold on. If James and John acquired the name of Boanerges, which is sons of thunder, what did the name Zebedee, their father, signify? Well, that's a good question, right? So Boanerges signifies sons of thunder. What does Zebedee mean? What does Zebedee signify? And is Zebedee, what's the relationship, if any, to Zebedee and the sons of thunder? Next paragraph. Now, in a figurative sense, there is quite a perspicuous, we'll repeat that. Now, in a figurative sense, there is quite as perspicuous a significancy in the sons of abundance as in the sons of thunder. Okay, so we need to understand what this son of abundance is and how it relates to son of thunder. If then, in a literal sense, cannot be pretended for such a phrase as the sons of thunder, which is Boanerges, neither can it be pretended for the sons of abundance, which is the sons of Zebedee. And the sons of abundance, being thus identified with the sons of thunder, this James and John, who are the sons of thunder and the sons of abundance, that is, the sons of Zebedee, can be no more real persons than abundance and thunder are real persons. Wow, that was quite a mouthful. Let me comments real section. I got real quick. I got to go back over that, yo. So let's see. Do we have anything in the comments section? Like and share the video, please. Okay, so nothing in the comments section as of yet. So I will continue with the presentation. Like and share, please. Like and share. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, please. That helps us a lot. Let's go back and try to figure this paragraph out. If then a literal sense cannot be pretended, okay, so in other words, you cannot look at the sons of thunder literally. If then a literal sense cannot be pretended for such a phrase as the sons of thunder, so the author is saying the sons of thunder is not literal. It's allegorical, made up, right? Not literal. All right. If then a literal sense cannot be pretended for such a phrase as the sons of thunder, which is both energies, neither can it be pretended for the sons of abundance. In other words, sons of abundance has to be allegorical too, right? In other words, both phrases, sons of abundance and sons of thunder, are both allegorical, all right? Neither can it be pretended for the sons of abundance, which is the sons of Zebedee. So the sons of Zebedee means the sons of abundance, but it is allegorical, not literal. And the sons of abundance, being thus identified with the sons of thunder, this James and John, who are the sons of thunder and the sons of abundance, that is, the sons of Zebedee, can be no more real persons than abundance and thunder are real persons. Y'all got that? The author is saying that since, let's see, Darrell-El, let me put this up. Darrell-El writes, they are also Castor and Pollux of Hellene mythology. Excellent point. Excellent point. And you know, Darrell-El, we went over Castor and Pollux about 3 or 4 videos ago, and their significance was quite interesting. Really, really quite interesting. I really enjoyed those videos. I think it had to do with Thomas, St. Thomas. I think it was in that video. Or whichever video we did about law. Darrell-El writes, let's see, Darrell-El continues. He says, I just noticed how similar those names are to Costobarus and Saulus, which Josephus attests to Paul of the Bible. All right, thanks for that. I didn't know that. Much appreciated, much appreciated. And by the way, if you, Darrell-El, if you want to come on and present those findings that you share it with me, you're more than welcome to come in and present them. I thought it was, actually, I think the information should be presented. So if you want to, you're more than welcome to do so here, if you would like to. I appreciate that. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Now the church, for a reason which no churchman can give you, and I can, fixes the festival of St. James on the 25th of July, which is a month remarkable for the frequent occurrence of thunder and of thunderstorms, as the month of August is as remarkable as being the harvest month or the month of abundance. Wow. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Okay, Darrell-El writes, I don't mind you presenting. Okay, all right. Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so thank you. All right, scholars, let's continue. Let us continue. Hey, here we go. Let's continue. Understand. Understand, please. Take note. Take note. Now the church, for a reason which no churchman can give you, and I can, fixes the festival of St. James on the 25th of July, which is a month remarkable for the frequent occurrence of thunder and of thunderstorms. Okay, now y'all, what land masses on earth have frequent thunder storms and thunder and lightning storms in July? Okay, that's a good question. St. James Day, his festival, is on the 25th of July. It's raining, thundering, lightning. Let's continue. as the month of August is as remarkable as being harvest month. So August, there's a harvest. In July, there's rain, thunder, lightning, rain. August is known for harvest time, right? August is known for harvest time. Okay, so August, as the month of August, is as remarkable as being the harvest month or the month of abundance. You get your harvest, it's an abundant amount of food that you're going to collect, right? Abundance. So August, sons of abundance. July, sons of thunder. Let's continue. On the 25th of July, the sun enters the sign of the Lion of July, but not before the 6th of August is the sun fairly in the middle of the Lion. Okay, let's recap. On the 25th of July, the sun enters into the zodiac sign Leo the Lion. Okay. On the 25th of July, the sun enters into the zodiac sign Leo the Lion. But not before the 6th of June is the sun fairly in the middle of the Lion. So the author is saying here, on the 6th of June and after, not before, but the 6th of June and after, the sun has now traveled to the middle of the zodiac sign Leo the Lion. On that day, that's the 6th of August, on that day then is fixed the festival of the Transfiguration. Y'all got that? On the 6th of August, that is the festival of the Transfiguration. The face of the Christ then becomes another. And the Lamb of capital G-O-D is transfigured into the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Wow. Y'all got that? On that day, on August 6th every year, on August 6th of every year then is fixed the festival of the Transfiguration. Now remember, Transfiguration literally means metamorphosis. And it's also translated as sonified and the sun, right? The face of the Christ then metamorphosizes into the Lamb of capital G-O-D, right? Let me read it again. On August 6th, then, is fixed the festival of the Transfiguration. The face of Christ then becomes another. Christ's face changes. And the Lamb of capital G-O-D is transfigured into the Lion of the tribe of Judah. The Lamb of the capital G-O-D is transfigured into the Lion of the tribe of Judah on August 6th, when the sun has reached the middle area of the zodiac sign Leo the Lion. Next paragraph. Now be awake again, I beseech you. The names of James and John, these sons of abundance, these sons of thunder, these apostolic brothers, privileged above all the rest to bask in the effluence of Christ's glory upon the holy mount, right? Only the three of them got to go up on the holy mount. Bible doesn't tell us a specific name of a mount. The Gospels don't give us a specific name for the mountain. Only those three got the privilege to go up. Therefore, they are called autops. Therefore, they're called autops. They got to see the autopsy. They got to see the transfiguration, the metamorphosis, the Christ becoming the Son. That's in review. The names of James and John, these sons of abundance, these sons of thunder, these apostolic brothers, privileged above all the rest because they had reached the highest level of achievement. They reached the highest rank in the secret society according to the author, privileged above all the rest to bask in the effulgence of Christ's glory upon the holy mount, are names which always come together and always in this order: James and John, never John and James, which would be blasphemous and would as surely raise the devil as if you were to say the capital Lord's prayer backwards. That's true. That's true. It's always James and John, isn't it? It's never John and James. Let's continue. It would be as preposterous as if you were to reckon August as coming before July. Excellent point. Nor is James, though distinguished by the title of James the Great, ever mentioned as concerned in any action, as making any speech, as speaking, or as spoken of, so much as in one single instance, separately and distinctively from his brother John. Now, this is very interesting because, right, the sun enters in to Leo the Lion, right, July 25th, and the sun travels to the middle, August 6th. So the two always go together, right? July 25th always forever will come before August 6th. James and John, it's always James and John, and never John and James, right? Y'all see it, what the author's trying to say? All right, so let's continue. Let's continue. Let me make sure I'm on the right. Okay, all right. So yeah, let's continue, y'all. If you have any questions or comments, please put it in the chat. If you know some information on the topic, please share it because not everyone is as advanced as you. Some people might even be afraid to ask a question or to share information. So if you would do that, it would help us greatly. So like and share, subscribe. Let's get back to work. Next paragraph reads, and as there can be no thunder without lightning in the order of nature, so we find that the characters and actions of these thunderers in the Gospels are as allegorical as their names. For the sons of thunder, James and John, it is, who, of all the apostolic band, were the only two who asked of Christ, of JC, the Christ figure, for leave to call for fire from heaven when some apparent interruption in his course had occurred. And James and John observed it. They said, quote, capital Lord, wilt thou that we command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, even as Elias did, end quote? That's a good point. All right. That's showing an association between James and John and lightning. Okay. But he turned. What did he turn for? And rebuked them. So he would be the Christ figure rebuking James and John. On which beautiful fable of the sun, that's the sun, holding the thunder and lightning of July and August in check in order to preserve the harvest from their blasting influence, has been attached the noblest and the best moral that any fable ever had. I got to go through that again, y'all. All right, so James and John offered to command fire to come down from heaven. Okay, so they said, JC, do you want us to make lightning come down and consume them? Do you want us to make the lightning strike these people? All right, even as Elias did. But the Christ figure turned, and what did he turn for? The Christ figure turned and rebuked them. on which beautiful fable of the sun, S-U-N, holding the thunder and lightning of July and August in check. Okay, I got it. So it appears on which beautiful fable of the sun, holding the thunder and lightning of July and August in check, in order to preserve the harvest from their blasting influence, has been attached the noblest. Okay, I believe he's saying he doesn't want it to rain too much, right? Because up here he just said that you can't get rain without lightning and thunder or something like that. And he's also saying, let's read it again, in order to preserve the harvest from their blasting influence. Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. Maybe it'll rain too much and destroy the harvest. Anybody have any ideas on this? What he's saying? Any ideas, scholars in the audience? But he turned and rebuked them, on which beautiful fable of the sun, that's the S-U-N, holding the thunder and lightning of July and August in check. Okay, so yeah, so the sun is preventing too much rain. All right, next paragraph. Next paragraph. Only unhappily, our gospelers have served the gospel as they serve all other fables. The moral of it was always that part which they never wished to see, nor cared to practice. Okay, let me adjust the page for y'all. He continues, the author continues. In the keeping of an historical congruity, it should have been Simon the Zealot or the rash and hasty Simon Peter. It should have been the infidel Thomas or the traitor Judas, whose dispositions should have appeared in the desire to call, in the disposition to call fire from heaven, or any of the 12, rather than James the Great, whose character is not drawn at all. So in other words, the author is saying that in the Gospels, there's really nothing about James' character. So we really don't know anything about his character. All right. Rather than James the Great, whose character is not known at all, and John, the disciple whom Jesus loved, whose character, so far as it is drawn, by drawn he means as far as it's written about in the Gospels, was the most opposite of all the 12 to that of such a disposition. It is evidently, then, not a historical consistency. The author is saying that James and John didn't have the personality, or at least John didn't have the personality to call down lightning to strike, to kill somebody, right? And James' character is not written about, so you don't know what his character was. So the author is saying it should have been one of the other 12 who did it. And therefore, he's saying it's not consistent. And therefore, its historicity is questionable. It is evident then not an historical consistency, but a physical one. Y'all see that? But a physical one that the gospel allegory respects. In which consistency it is seen at once that though the month of July and August are, in the course of nature, most ordinarily beneficent and amiable to man, yet they are often found to be sons of thunder, and from their great heat of temper, frequently accompanied with the most dreadful storms and lightning. Okay, right, y'all see that? It's sunny and nice, but sometimes it can have these terrible thunderstorms, right? Terrible lightning and thunderstorms that can kill somebody or at least make you afraid. Of the thunder, James, not one single act which he ever did, not one word which he ever spoke, nor one syllable that he ever wrote, exists or can be shown ever to have been in existence in any record whatever. The epistle called the General Epistle of James in the New Testament claims to be no more than an epistle of, quote, James, a servant of capital G-O-D and of the capital L-O-R-D, J-C, the Christ, end quote. And is evidently the composition of a Roman Catholic priest contrived to inoculate or inculcate the very lucrative doctrines of auricular confession and extreme unction, and as such is rejected as a most palpable cheat and impostor. So in other words, that book is not real. By the shrewder and more intelligent, even of those who have professed and called themselves Christians. So in other words, that book is clearly a fraud. All right. And those who will have that epistle to be apostolical ascribe it to James the Less, not the Great, and not to James, of whom we now treat, the son of thunder. The learned Unitarian divine, the Reverend Edward Evanson, in his celebrated work, the dissonance, etc., has settled all pretensions of the epistle writing James. Okay, so if y'all want to get that, it's called the Dissonance. It's written by Reverend Edward Evanson. The quote that the author is referring to is on page 227. Page 227. Let's continue reading. Let me make sure I'm on the right page so y'all can see. All right, so we are here, y'all. Let me put the cursor. If anybody wants to get this book or find the quote, here it is. The book, the work is called The Dissonance. Quotation about James is on page 276. Let's continue. Neither is there any historical indication of the James, the brother of John of the Gospels, with the James, the brother of John of the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 12, where it is said that Herod the king, our old friend, Herod the king, the crude child killer, who is always brought on the stage when there is any bloody scene to act. Okay, now let's read the quote. Sketched forth hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. So it appears that the author is saying Herod killed James, the brother of John. How did he die? With the sword. Now, what matters to us, what instrument it was that he killed him with? It matters everything. For it is not said that he killed him with the sword, but he killed with the sword. That's a good point. So y'all look up the function of the word the. All right, we see the Greek word. A very particular sort of a sword that must be, to be worthy, to be so peculiarly mentioned. See, the sword. That's like saying Ohio State versus the Ohio State, right? Let's hope it might be a sort of a word that would not shed much blood, since otherwise it would be hard to account for a miracle being wrought to get Peter out of Herod's clutches, while poor Jimmy was left to be his victim. For the story runs that Herod the king, having killed James with the sword, proceeded further to take Peter also, and when he had apprehended Peter, he put him in prison. And there we see the Greek word, quote, and delivered him to four quaternid, whatever that word is, four quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people, end quote. So, and we are to read his holy jargon so, with our eyes shut, and with such a perfect innocence of criticism, as to see nothing absurd or contrary or preposterous in this murderous King Herod, being so punctiliously conscientious as not to allow any public performances to go on during the Passion Week. Like a good Christian, as he was, he will wait till after Easter. An unlucky translation, that of the, and we see some Greek words there, which might have been rendered, notice this, y'all, which might have been rendered after the Passover, except that the rendering after the Passover is hardly thick enough to cover from the prying eyes of honest skepticism. Y'all see that? Honest skepticism, that means asking questions, doubting before you believe. The latent astronomical conundrum that this King Herod, having killed James with the sword, must proceed further to take Peter, and finds a Passover or something, some line, some bridge, some anything you please that must be passed over. He can serve Peter as he had served James. All right, I think I know where he's going already. See, once you get accustomed to this type of language and these concepts, it's very easy to understand what he's talking about. Let me check the comments real quick before I continue. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me read through the comments real fast, y'all. Excellent. Okay, Darrell-El writes, Egypt, Al-Chem. Notice its phonetic correspondence to alchemy. Never put that together. I knew chemistry, but not alchemy. Excellent point. Excellent point. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Let me scroll down. Darrell-El writes, what are the names of the twins, Castor and Pollux, which is Pollux, the light of Paul, of Saul, the son, David, which is the son, who was raised up to them for a king who does the will of capital G-O-D. Excellent point. Excellent point. Excellent point. Let's continue with the comments. Excellent. Excellent. Darrell continues, I did find a book where they did connect Paul and Pollux. Oh, yes, yes, good point. The author mentions also how they're connected. I don't remember right now, but they are also, I believe it was Gemini, the twins. We have to go back and check. We'll have to go back and check. But my memory seems to be telling me that it has something to do with the scales too, with justice and the College of Lawyers. Y'all remember that? The priests who were, but I don't remember, so let me stop right there. Let me stop right there. I won't say anything else about it because I'm not sure. But that was about three, maybe four video, maybe video 31, episode maybe 31, 32, Thomas, St. Thomas. Okay, so let's see, where are we? Where are we? Let me go back to the document. Thanks for those comments. This is going to be good stuff, really, really good stuff for people who come after us, right? People who watch this video. All right. Neither is there any historical identification of the James, the brother of John of the Gospels, with the James, the brother of John of the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 12. Okay, we already read that. All right, so we're over here on the next page. Let me see. Are we? Sorry, y'all, I lost my place. Well, let's just start. Now, we read that already. Okay, so yeah, we're over here. We're in the last paragraph here. We're in the last paragraph, right where the highlight is. The first thing, however, that Peter does upon finding himself escaped from the power of Herod is to send word to James, especially, of his miraculous escape, which obliges us to recollect that this is another James in the apostleship. Wow, y'all got that? Which obliges us to recollect that there is another James in the apostleship. Let me read this again. The first thing, however, that Peter does upon finding himself escaped from the power of Herod is to send word to James, especially. Right, James is supposed to be dead, y'all. So what James is this? Is to send word to James, especially, of his miraculous escape, which obliges us to recollect that there is another James in the apostleship, and that is James the Less, not James the Greater, but James the Less, who, though he is expressly called the son of Alphaeus, which signifies 1,000, learned, or chief, has the distinguishing epithet of the brother of JC, the Christ figure, and the still more distinguishing epithet of James the Just, Just, which, let me turn the page here, which epithet sufficiently serves to fix his place in the scales of September. Y'all got that? The scales of September, which would be what? Justice. Let's continue. This is getting to be very interesting, y'all, right? So here we're looking at July, August, September. They're all correlating astronomically. They're all correlating with nature. July, thunderstorms, lightning, and rain, but it's not so much that it destroys the August harvest, right? And then September, Libra, the scales, right? All right, all right. Okay, now let's continue. The Libra scales, remember, James the Greater has been killed, right? James the Greater has been killed. All right. So let's continue with the story. But of the James, the brother of John, the James and John, the sons of thunder, to whom now we confine our studies. In other words, focus only on James and John now, the sons of Zebedee, the sons of thunder. Exclude everything else. Now it's just James and John, the sons of thunder, the sons of Zebedee. To whom now we confine our studies, their identity with the imaginary genii of the months of July and August, which are the thundering months, is still further established by the allegorical analogy of their being the object of envy to all the other apostles, as July and August are the months in which the sun puts forth his greatest splendor, and more especially crowns the year with his goodness, so that July and August are, by the most obvious figure, the sons, S-O-N-S, the sons of Zebedee. That is, the sons of abundance, the sons of abundance, correlating with nature, natural law, right? All right. The almanacs back in the day, y'all remember that? Almanacs, farming, you needed to know. All right, let's continue. But of all the apostolic cohort, that's the group of the apostles of 12, James and John happened to be the only two that had a mother or a mother that cared for them, that had their interest at heart, and whose character was worthy to be wrought into the texture of the allegorical drama. In other words, their mothers were written about. As in Matthew 20, verse 20, you have introduced the character of the mother of Zebedee's children, Mrs. Zebedee, come to JC, the Christ figure, upon a borrow mongering errand to get good places under government for her two sons, quote, worshiping him, end quote, says the text, quote, and desiring a certain thing of him, end quote. A carnine old woman she was. She worshiped him, not that she cared for him any more than he for her. Only she was up to the ways of things at court. Only she know how things work. She know how to play the game at court, right? She knows how to play the game at court and knew that places under government are only to be got by the trick of appearing to be vastly religious and laying on the worshiping pretty thick. All right, y'all got that? That's why in law, they'll always write, I pray, and all of this other type of stuff, right? So if you want to get anything from government, go there with a religious type of disposition, showing that you're holier than thou, kissing up, and so on and so forth. All right. So after he had enough of her worshiping, as like the rest of them, she'd have worshiped the devil had it happened to be in office. Y'all seeing the correlation between government? This is esoteric knowledge. Esoteric knowledge. Let's continue. He said unto her, quote, what wilt thou, end quote. She said unto him, quote, grant that these two my sons may sit, and one on thy right hand and the other on thy left in thy kingdom, end quote. You see, they were mere sinecure places which the woman wanted, nothing to do in them but to sit still and enjoy themselves at the expense of the kingdom. I never thought about it that way. I never thought about it that way. How about y'all? You see, they were mere sinecure places which the woman wanted, nothing to do in them but to sit still and enjoy themselves at the expense of the kingdom. In other words, she wanted something, but she didn't want to give anything. She wanted the benefit without putting any skin in the game. There were, however, two qualifications necessary for the places they desired, as to which their sufficient accomplishment might be doubted. Those qualifications were drinking and ducking. Quote, are you able to drink? End quote, said JC the Christ figure. And to make a good splash in the world, that is no ordinary drink, be sure on it. Quote, but to drink of the cup which I shall drink of, end quote. To toss it off, I dare say, at a swig without stopping to take a breath. To which these sons of thunder answer very promptly, quote, we are able, end quote. And the devil doubt him. The hot months of July and August naturally disposing men to be thirsty and feverish, the personified genius of either of those months appear in the hieroglyphical picture as a complete, quote, Toby Philpot, a thirsty old soul, as air cracked a bottle or foamed a bowl. So the author is saying, the Christ figure said, can you drink of my cup? Because July and August are hot months. So that would be the astronomical correlation to the gospel story here. But that cup now, that particular cup, O season but your admiration with so much patience, as shall put it into my power to serve you up that cup in the due order of this intellectual banquet. And I do promise you in one of these discourses that you shall drink of that cup, the nectar of the lowercase gods, so rich a draught of science and of scientific demonstration, as shall destroy in you forever all possibility of swallowing any more of the milk and water of the Gospels. All right, y'all. I want to see what this author is saying this cup is. The author makes the bold claim that once you drink this cup of science, this intellectual banquet, you will never be able to go back to the milk and water of the Gospels. That's a big claim. I got to see what he's talking about, y'all. Let me check the comments. Let me check the comments. Apostle Joel, Shalawama. Let me check the comments, y'all. All right. Darrell-El writes, yea, that we make sense because Castor and Pollux are twins. Yes, indeed. Darrell-El continues, there was James the Lesser, and Gemini does cover. Oh, this software app is not good, y'all. This is BeLive. It's not good. Look how it's not putting Darrell-El's comment all the way on the screen. Okay, Gemini does cover part of July. All right, that's what he writes. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Darrell-El. Appellation Joel, Islam, I, self, law, and master. Greetings to all. Greetings, Dr. Yasapa. Greetings, Joel. Good to see you back. Good to see you back. All right. Like, share the video, everyone, please. Let's see. What time do we have? 10:18. Wow, that time went fast, man. That time went fast. So let's see. Let's continue. Let's continue. Put this work in. Let's put this work in. All right. Here we are. The highlighted part. No, did we just read that? Oh no, we're here. Okay, here we are. But that cup now, no, we already read that. Next paragraph. All right, but our business now is with the sons of Zebedee. All right, y'all. So the author is going to deal with the sons of Zebedee, and then sometime after that, he's going to tell us what this intellectual banquet is, this cup that will never, ever allow you to swallow any more gospel Christianity. All right, I can accept that. But our business now is with the sons of Zebedee and their mother, Miss Zebedee. There is not a little difficulty in identifying this old woman, owing to her being spoken of by no other epithet than that most evidently enigmatical one. Okay, so this tricky one, the mother of Zebedee's children, which should seem to indicate that though she was the mother of Zebedee's children, she never had the honor of being Zebedee's wife. Wow. It does take one to presume or assume that she was Zebedee's wife because she was the mother of Zebedee's children. Y'all got that? This author is very good. He's very good. All right. The ladies and gentlemen of the gospel seem not to have been anything like so ceremonious about these things as we are nowadays, because the gospel is the purest system of morals that ever was in the world, And where will you, and where will you find anything to compare with the morals of the gospel? Hey, y'all, this is a good point. Ask your Moshe, rabbi, more, whatever, pastor, reverend, ask them, why is it that Zebedee and his wife are not said to be married if we are in fact required to get married and a marriage license, right? Why didn't they have one? As a matter of fact, I wonder who else in the gospel stories are not said to be married. I never paid attention to that, yo. So if they're not required to be married, I know our people are not required to have a marriage license, right? That's not our culture. But it is the culture of the Romans and the Christians. But anyway, let's continue. If they're not married, that would be immoral, right? Right, y'all? Y'all see what the author's trying to say? All right, that would make this a hypocritical type of thing. There are 2 Johns, 2 James, 2 Judases, and 2 Simons, and 4 Marys in the dramatis personae of the gospel. Wow. 2 Johns, 2 James, 2 Judas, 2 Simons, and 4 Marys in the gospels. So that though we have the expression Mary, the mother of James, and Mary, the mother of John, it must rest only in conjecture which of the Marys was the mother of the sons of Zebedee. That makes total sense. Unless we please to relieve our conjecture by acting faith on capital God's word, and so conclude that as the other, let me repeat that, that as there are 3, let me turn the page here, that the other 3 persons and 1 capital God, so there must be 4 mothers where there was but 1 woman. Funny, but his reasoning, I understand his reasoning. Y'all see that? Let me show it again. Here's his rationale. He says, by acting on faith of capital God's word, and so conclude that as there are 3, the conclusion is that there are 3 persons and 1 capital God, so there might be 4 mothers where there was but 1 woman. Y'all get his logic? I see it. All right, I see his logic. Let's continue. But this sublime confusion, by the way, isn't there a scripture that says that capital God is not the author of confusion, but yet there are 2 Johns, 2 James, 2 Judas, 2 Simons, and 4 Marys, and 3 deities, 3 divine beings making up 1 divine being? Is that confusion? Is that confusion? Isn't there a scripture that says that the deity is not the author of confusion? As a matter of fact, what verse, if anybody knows what book, chapter, and verse that is, could y'all put it in the comment section real quick? Because for me, looking at this is confusing. 2 Johns, 2 James, 2 Judas, 2 Simons, 4 Marys, 3 divine people making up 1 deity. 4 Marys. Well, I mean, if all of this other stuff, you can say that there's only 1 woman, right? If you accept the Trinity as being 1 deity made up of 3 people, well, it only follows that there's 1 woman who's a mother, but she's got, children with these 4 men, right? 4 mothers where there was but 1 woman. Y'all see it? Confusing. Let me check the chat. if someone would please, could you put that verse in that says that the deity is not the author of confusion? Darrell-El says, Darrell writes, this is funny how made upon my own mind as I walked around the old temple of Castor and Pollux, now called the Church of St. Paul at Naples. Excellent point. Excellent point. As a matter of fact, let me do it, y'all. Let me see. I'm gonna put that verse in. It came to my mind, and I want to put it in. I want to put it in. It's 1 Corinthians 14, verse 33 through 40. Let me copy paste this, y'all, before I go back. I want this to be here. Darrell, okay, excellent. Thank you, Darrell. Darrell gave us the scripture. King James Bible for capital G-O-D is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. 1 Corinthians 14:33. All right, now we have it on the record. We have it on the record. Something for the Christians and others to think about. Is this confusion or not, with all these people having the same names? Right? And then, of course, the Trinity and the woman, the one Mary or the four Marys. That whole story is confusing. Let me go back before I get confused again. Uh-oh, what happened, y'all? What happened to our screen? Give me a second. Uh-oh, hold on, y'all. Is it back? All right, it's back. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Let us continue. But this sublime confusion is, for the better exercise of our faith, most sublimely enhanced by the discovery which results from a comparison of the text of Matthew's gospel with that of Mark's, which shows us that as Christ could truly say, quote, I and my Father are one, so his disciples, James and John, could as truly say, we and our mother are one. If you follow that line of reasoning, that is exactly correct, right? So scholars in the audience who are watching this video now or in the future, I think the point the author is trying to make here is not what your doctrine teaches, but what your logical mind shows you, right? So there's a difference. The doctrine would tell you no, that's not what it means, right? But logically, you can make these same conclusions as the author. Next paragraph. What in Matthew's gospel is reported as having been spoken by the mother is in Mark's, that's Mark's gospel, said to have been spoken by her sons. And no mention at all is made of Miss Zebedee in the affair, it being evidently all one and the same thing, whether it were they who said it or she, that is, whether the application to be allowed to sit, the one on JC's Christ figure right hand and the other on his left, were made immediately by themselves or by their mother who represented them. Because as it is the Virgin of the zodiac who represents the Genii or the genie of those sons of abundance, July and August, that is James and John. I got to read that again, y'all. I have to read it in because I didn't understand. Let me read it again. What in Matthew's gospel is reported as having been spoken by the mother is in Mark's gospel said to have been spoken by her sons. I understand now. The story in Mark, the person who said let my son sit, or the person speaking in Matthew's gospel is different than the person speaking in Mark's gospel. That's what the author is saying, or bringing our attention to. What in Matthew's gospel is reported as having been spoken by the mother of Zebedee, is in Mark's gospel said to have been spoken by the sons of Zebedee. Y'all got that? Matthew says that the statement was made by the mother of Zebedee's sons. Mark's gospel said those same words were spoken by the sons themselves, not the mother, but by Zebedee's son. So, in other words, in Matthew's gospel, Mary said it. In Mark's gospel, James and John said it. Is this confusing, y'all? Is this confusing? Let's continue. I'm confused. I figured it out now, but it's confusing. And no mention at all is made of Miss Zebedee in the affair. So in Mark's gospel, nothing is said about the mother of James and John, the sons of Zebedee. All right. So there's a big conflict. This is where the occasion comes in to create doctrine. One Hebrew Israelite group, one religious organization will create an explanation, which they will call precepting it out, to explain this problem between Mark's account and John's account. They will create a doctrine and a precept. If they are a religious organization who translates the Bible, don't think for 1 minute they will not render an Ibaryath word into English that's something completely different than what it is in Ibaryath to create a precept or something maybe not completely different, or they'll choose something that allows them to what? Fortify their doctrine. Y'all see? This is how it works. Go subscribe to 101 Ancient Ibaryath, the streaming course. You're going to learn about everything I just talked about, how these people fool you through renderings and translations. 101 Ancient Ibaryath, 101 Ancient Ibaryath, streaming course. Subscribe now. Let's continue. It being evidently all one and the same thing, whether it were they who said it, that's James and John, or she. So the author is saying it doesn't matter whether or not James and John said it or their mother said it. That's Mary, right? That is, whether the application to be allowed to sit, the one on JC's Christ figure right hand and the other on his left hand, were made immediately by themselves. So they said it to Christ, right? Or by their mother, or their mother said it to the Christ figure who represented them. That's in Matthew's story. Because as it is the virgin of the zodiac who represents the genie or genii of those sons of abundance, July and August, that is James and John. All right, so I think what the author is saying here, because as it is the virgin of the zodiac. Okay, so it's the virgin of the zodiac that's important. The virgin, I forgot the virgin of the zodiac. I forgot. That's who is the virgin of the zodiac? I forgot that zodiac sign. But y'all understand. All right. Because as it is the virgin of the zodiac who represents the genii of those sons of abundance, July and August, that is James and John. So what zodiac sign is July and August? The author is saying that's what's important. Next paragraph. Let me wait. You know what? Let me Google search this. Let me search it. If someone knows offhand, put it in the comments, please. Jerice says, hello, everyone. Shalawama, Shalawama. Let's take a look at some of the comments. All right. Darrell-El says, I associate them being JC. Okay. Brothers. All right. Darrell says, I have read Zebedee was a title for Joseph. Okay. All right. And Jerice says, hello, everyone. So let's see the Virgin. What was it? What was it called? I forgot. The where are we? Oh, Virgin of the Zodiac. Virgin of the Zodiac. Virgin of the Zodiac. All right. Virgin of the Zodiac is okay. It is the sixth sign of the Zodiac. So who's the sixth sign of the Zodiac? Man, I can't remember. I don't know why I'm not remembering this. Oh, Virgo, y'all. Virgo. Yeah, Virgo. That's what's important. That's what's important according to the author, right? Virgo, August and September. That's the current calendar. In Western astrology, the months in Virgo are August and September. So what about, he doesn't say what calendar he's using. Let me go back. It says, because as it is the Virgin of the Zodiac who represents the genii of these sons of abundance, July and August. So according to the author, whatever calendar he's referring to, the Virgin or Virgo is July and August. So what calendar is he referring to? I have an idea. Let me put this in. Let's type in Virgo, July and August. And see what we come up with. Okay, Virgo. Okay, Virgo, July 2022 monthly horoscope. All right, so I guess Virgo is July and August. Y'all see that? But no, it's saying something different. Anybody want to take a look at this? Virgo weekly horoscope for 26 July to August 1st. So that's Virgo. All right, so I guess the author is using a current calendar. Virgo horoscope, July 2021. All right, so Virgo is July and August. All right, August month zodiac sign chart, July 23rd to August 22nd, Leo. Let me see. Wow, it's a long delay, y'all, in this video. All right, if anybody can clarify this, but from what I'm seeing on the Google search, Virgo is July and August, so I'm assuming that it's using the current calendar. The author is referring to the current calendar. All right, so let's continue. So we've been at it for an hour and 40 minutes, y'all. An hour and 40 minutes. So I think this is a good place to stop. Or maybe, no, I'm going to read this last part. I'm going to read one more paragraph, okay? We're going to read one more paragraph. It never being to be forgotten that in allegorical adaptation, those congruencies and inconsistencies which we look for in histories and narratives are not required. The contradictions, absurdities, and jarring statements, which are not to be excused nor endured in anything that would pass for history, become the greater source of entertainment and the vehicle of further instruction in mythology. So what the author is saying here is that when you look at something to see if it's historical, what you would look at is what? Congruency and consistency, right? In histories and in narratives. But in the case of the Gospels, he's saying you don't have to look at seeming contradictions and what's consistent, because the stories have so much far out wild stuff, so much incredible stuff, that you don't even have to consider whether or not it's consistent, look for contradictions, so on and so forth. Give me 1 second. Let me check the comment. Darrell-El writes, Cancer crab, June. Cancer crab is June. All right. For some reason. Okay, Gary, I have to go back to it. Gary Tucker writes, Virgo follows Leo. Virgo follows Leo. Thank you, Gary Tucker. Welcome. Darrell-El writes, I don't know why your comment is not showing, Darrell-El, but only part of it is showing. Darrell-El writes, Cancer, which is the crab, June 22nd through July 22nd. Darrell-El writes, August 23rd through, Virgo, August 23rd through September 22nd. And Gary Tucker writes, Cancer, Leo, then Virgo. Darrell-El writes, Gemini twins. I don't know what's going on with our comments, y'all, but they're not showing properly. Gemini, Darrell-El writes, Gemini twins, May 21st, June 21st. I saw some that said July for Virgo. So this is, the author is either referring to a different calendar where Virgo would show, let's see, Lewis White writes, Virgo, August 23rd through September 22nd. Okay, let's see. I'm going to type in Virgo 1800. Let's see what we find. No, Virgo zodiac. Virgo zodiac signs traits. No, it's just still horoscope. Oh well. So either the author is incorrect or I'm missing something as I read. Let me put a link, and maybe that might. Let me drop this link for y'all so y'all can see what I looked at. Let me put maybe y'all can check it out for me and clarify it, because my attention is divided. So I just put a link in the chat. If y'all check that out, and then give us some analysis or commentary. There is some reference to Virgo being in July. Okay, where were we? Oh, okay. So the author is saying that because these stories are so wild, you can ignore you don't even have to consider the contradictions, and you don't have to consider the similarities as you normally would when you examine history or something that really happened in history or a narrative, right? In other words, these are like comic books, obviously, clearly not historical. That's what the author is saying here. And these contradictions, absurdities, and impossibilities, which are found in every page of the sacred writ, the writ is the writing, the gospel writing, are themselves the evidence and demonstration that it was not history, but mythology that was intended. The folly is that of the fool himself, who takes the gospel to be true, which never itself purported, nor was intended to pass for truth, and then looks for consistency and method where nothing but pantomime and fiction was intended. So what's happening here? The dark priesthood, these renegade professors, turned this into religion. Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. All right. Thanks to our ancestors. Darrell-El writes, Wikipedia, the zodiac is different for Western zodiac signs. Ah, okay. That's what it is then. There you go. Darrell, good work. Thank you. So thanks to our ancestors, those rebels, renegades, who decided that they wanted to be super rich and have slaves and not have to do anything for themselves, they created these known mythological stories that told about the seasons and the sun's path through the sky, created religion. Jeremiah 8:8. For the selfish, self-centered purpose of having us worship them, right? Without us knowing it, and living off of us and having slaves, mental and physical slaves. All right, that's Jeremiah 8:8, y'all. Let's continue. The believer of the gospel, therefore, is not he who takes it to be true, but he who takes it as it was intended to be taken. That is, he who understands it. Today's language, we would say he who overstands it, who sees through or looks under the gross veil of the letter into the sublime science of the spirit, in which sense no pretended minister of the gospels in this accursedly priest-ridden countries, talking about London, well, Britain, dare trust himself or his congregation to accept the challenge I have given to show whether it be I or he who is the imposter. So the author is saying he challenged these religious leaders to come prove their religion using their doctrine. And the author would then use his science to prove his case, right? Dare trust himself or his congregation to accept the challenge I have given to show whether it be I or he, that's the priest, who is the imposter. The imposter, of course, is the priest, according to the author, because they took a book and made it into religion with gods, devils, and demons. For capital God has made me what none of them are, quote, an able minister of the New Testament, not of the letter, but of the spirit, for the letter killeth, end quote. That is, you see, it makes fools of people, quote, but the spirit giveth life, end quote. That is, there's some good fun and work for science in it. I kind of like the way the author takes their verses and uses it against them. And it might be, actually, it might be that in the esoteric meaning of the gospel is what the author is telling us. Y'all follow? That the preachers, pastors, rabbis are the imposters, right? But that the spirit is the knowledge of what these texts truly mean. And having the spirit it kills the letter or the doctrine. Could be the esoteric meaning of what he's saying. Next paragraph, and as look into history or anything that ever bore the name of history, where will you find the names or anything like the names of these sons of thunder, James and John, any account of any action they ever did or any event in which they ever bore a part? He's got a point, right? Of James, your only account is that after having preached nothing, written nothing, spoken nothing, and done nothing, he was killed for nothing. By that eternally reviving old child killer, King Herod. Of James the Just, following the romance called ecclesiastical history, he gets killed in like manner for nothing at all. And like almost all the rest of them, he suffers his martyrdom in Heliopolis, or in Heliopolis, those words literally meaning the city of the sun, and the sacred city, the known and universal metaphor for the zodiac, that's the sacred city, in which all these martyrdoms or bearing witnesses are said to have happened, the sacred city or the zodiac, and in which alone did any of these martyrers exist. In other words, they exist in the zodiac, therefore their martyrdom is in the zodiac. John, however, the beloved son of thunder, never died at all. For though he ceased to breathe on earth, we are assured by the holy and most veracious father of the church, Saint Augustine, that he, that is John, continues to breathe under the earth, as he lies buried in the churchyard at Ephesus, where Saint Augustine himself could see the earth of his grave leave up, or heave rather, the earth of his grave heave up and down as the old man draws his breath. It was called a standing miracle. For many hundreds of years in the Christian church, notwithstanding, the churchmen themselves could not deny that it was also a lying one. That's funny, y'all. That was funny. All right, so this next paragraph is only about 1 or 2 sentences. Its efficacy, however, is confirming the faith of the faithful, has been much diminished owing to the fact that our church yards to this day, let me turn the page, that our churchyards to this day, presenting equally well-attested evidence of thousands of vampires snoring away in deep sheets and waiting for the glorious resurrection. I got to read that again, y'all. Y'all know what that made me think of? Is the author saying that they have buried bodies under the church? I got to read that again. Darrell-El in your email. Shalom, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Darrell-El. Let me read this again, y'all. Tell me what y'all think. What is he saying? Listen what he's saying. In the previous paragraph, he says that John was alive underneath the church, buried in the ground, right? In this paragraph, he says, its efficacy, however, in confirming the faith of the faithful has been much diminished. Okay? Its efficacy, however, in confirming the faith of the faithful has been much diminished. Its efficacy, what is he talking about? Let me go back up to the next paragraph. It was called a standing miracle for many hundreds of years in the Christian church, notwithstanding that the churchmen themselves could not deny that it was also a lying one. Okay, so that's this miracle. Let me read this chapter, this paragraph again. John, however, the beloved son of thunder, never died at all. For though he ceased to breathe on earth, we are assured by the holy and most veracious father of the church, St. Augustine, that he, that is John, continues to breathe under the earth, as he, that is John, lies buried in the courtyard at Ephesus, where St. Augustine himself could see the earth of his grave heave up and down as the old man draws his breath. So John is said to be buried in the churchyard of Ephesus, but he's breathing. And this is a miracle that it was considered a miracle for hundreds of years. So next paragraph, where its efficacy or the efficacy of the miracle, however, in confirming the faith of the faithful, has been much diminished. In other words, people not believing that miracle anymore, that John is underneath the ground breathing, owing to the fact that our churchyard to this day presenting equally well attested evidence of thousands of vampires snoring away in damp sheets and waiting for the glorious resurrection. So who are these thousands of vampires? Snoring away, sleeping in the ground is what he's saying, and waiting for glorious resurrection. So are they dead, waiting to be resurrected? I got to read the next paragraph, y'all. I got to read the next paragraph. It reads, as no history, no geography, no chronology, no annals, registers, or vestiges of fact in all the world has any account of the existence of such persons as these sons of thunder, shall we be blind to the light of evidence, which a perfect resemblance of names and a perfect similarity of fables, of stories, flashes upon us in proof that the ancient paganism and the mythology, which we now call Christianity, are one and the self same religion. So the author is saying that Christianity is paganism. Observe then the demonstration, and I do beseech you to bar me from your convictions as long as you possibly can. In other words, don't believe me. Don't just blindly believe me. As long as you possibly can, do so, right? Don't believe me. Only be rational and surrender your conviction to nothing short of rational demonstration. In other words, don't believe me, search for evidence, use your critical analytical mind, ask questions. Bear in mind then the story which makes so distinguishing a portion of 3 out of 4 of our gospels of the metamorphosis of Christ upon the holy mountain. Bear in mind that it was the distinguished and exclusive privilege of Peter, James, and John to be witnesses of this metamorphosis or transfiguration or glorification, or what you please, of Christ upon this holy mountain. Bear in mind that if this had happened as an incident peculiar to Christianity, it could not have happened before the founding of Christianity. Bear in mind that your Christ in the gospel consistently speaks of his 12 disciples or any one of them as being one with himself, as he was one with the Father. Bear in mind that the name James is always rendered in Latin Jacobus, of which the termination, US, termination would be a suffix, y'all. See, Jacob, and then US, that's the suffix, Jacob, us, of which the termination us is merely grammatical and leaves us the name Jacob. Y'all see it? All right. He's quoting from Genesis 26:36. But Iacchus, or Iacchus, IACCHUS, I see the US suffix, that's the US termination. But Iacchus is the direct, undisguised, unconcealed name of the lowercase God, Bacchus, Bacch, And now we see the suffix us, which is the termination ux. The lowercase god of wine, which without the Latin termination is iac or ike or iac. The direct origin of our English Jack. So Jack, Jack, comes from the Latin IAC. The radical of JAO, Jao. The radical of JAO. The root of JAO, JEUE, and all our names for capital God, in which we are never to lose sight of the perfect analogy of physical phenomena with the theological allegory, as we always find Jack signifying capital God and Tom signifying the devil. If you go to heaven when you die, you will go to Jack of the Box. I always wondered what that meant, Jack of the Box. But if you go to the other place, you'll go to hell and Tommy. But OB was a direct name for capital God as signifying the Father and added to the IAC or Jack, JACK, made the whole name Jack Ob. That's Jacob, right? That is capital God the Father and Jacob, JACK-OB, called Jacob, was applied to the grandson of Abraham as being the father of the 12 patriarchs. Thus, 12 patriarchs have been proved to be none other than the personified genii of the 12 divisions of the zodiac. In the old allegory, and the 12 apostles are the same allegorical genii in the new. This is going to be interesting tomorrow, y'all. The footnote reads for OB. A serpent in the Egyptian language was styled Ob, spelled OB. That's quoting from Bryant, Volume 1. AB, Ab, generally signifies a father. Indifferently styled Ab, that's spelled AB, Ob, spelled AUB, and OB, spelled OB. That's cited from Ib, spelled IB, volume 2, page 202. Come back tomorrow if you want to know where this is going, and I may share some insight or something with y'all I've never shared publicly. I don't know if I want to share it, but I might share it because this is on topic. This is on topic. All right. Darrell-El writes. Let me go to the comments. Darrell-El writes, could I get the Valentine Law Dictionary, please? Yeah, I'll email it to you. You want it right now? I'll email it to you. Darrell-El writes, I keep hearing you say genie, which sounds like Gemini. Okay, so let me go to my email real quick. All right. So the author is saying hold on, y'all. Geni. I think it's a plural of, hold on. So you sent me the dictionary. Let me find it. Let me look through my inbox. Oh, Valentine's Dictionary. Okay, I see it. Let me pull it up. I'll send it to you. I'm waiting for it to open. Darrell-El. So let me send this to you right now. Okay, I just sent it. So let's see. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. All right, give me 1 second. Let me go back. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure I got this right. Y'all. Okay, Darrell-El says, thank you. My pleasure. Thank you, too. All right, so I think I covered the other comments. Let me know when you got it, Darrell. So the author is saying, just in review, these last few paragraphs, the author is saying that Jacob, when you look at it etymologically, according to the author, he's saying that it breaks down to roots that show that, as a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and read it. Well, I got to find it first. Oh, here's the point, the last paragraph. But Iacchus is the direct, undisguised, unconcealed name of the deity Bacchus, the deity of wine, which, without its Latin termination, is IAC, the direct origin of our English Jack, the radical of JAO, Jiao, and Jude, JEUE, and all our names for capital God. Okay, here's where this is the key to make the author's point. He says all our names for capital God. What's the name for capital God? The Tetragrammaton, YHWH, right, y'all? YHWH. Jehovah, Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahoo, contracted as Yah. He's talking about this deity in which we are never to lose sight of the perfect analogy of physical phenomena with the allegorical, or with the theological allegory. Let's repeat that. In which we are never to lose sight of the perfect analogy of physical phenomena with the theological one. Now, I always show people that the Tetragrammaton is not the Most High. The Tetragrammaton is not the Most High. Let's go back. I missed a sentence. As we always find, Jack signifying capital JOD and Tom signifying the devil. If you go to heaven, you will die. You will go to Jack of the box. But if you go, I don't understand these meanings. We need to research what is Jack of the box. But if you go to the other place, you will go to hell and Tommy. So until I read this book, I've never heard of Tommy being called hell. So this is old time language, y'all. We need to research it, flush it out. Next paragraph. But Ob was a direct name of capital God as signifying the Father. Now, what can we deduce here? What do we know? We know that Father, our ancestors never called the Most High our Father. In fact, we had an adoptive relationship with the Most High. In other words, we were adopted, not blood. Wasn't a father. The Christ figure started that. He popularized it. There are maybe 1 or 2 scriptures, I think in Isaiah, maybe another prophet, or maybe only Isaiah. I don't remember because I haven't looked at this in a long time, where the word Father is used. Okay. But my position is that that is Jeremiah 8:8, because we clearly did not see our relationship with the Most High as being a father-son relationship, but an adopted. And you'll find that actually in any good Bible dictionary. You're also going to find that the nations had blood relationship with the deity. So now this is a problem for this author's argument. That is a problem. Let's read. But Ob was a direct name of capital God as signifying the Father, and added to Iac, spelled IAC, or Jack, spelled JACK, made the whole name of Jack Ob, that is capital God, the Father. This is a Christian concept, okay? Capital God, the Father. This is not Hebraic. This is Christian. You find that popularized by the Christ figure. And Jacob, called Jacob, was applied to the grandson of Abraham as being the father of the 12 patriarchs. Those 12 patriarchs have been proved to be none other than the personified genii of the 12 divisions of the zodiac. In the old allegory, that's the Old Testament, and the 12 apostles are the same allegorical genii in the New or the New Testament. So, is this enough evidence, scholars, to prove that the 12 patriarchs are the zodiac, what we just considered? You decide. We're going to go into this tomorrow. I can't wait till tomorrow to get further into this, y'all. All right, so we have a new comment. Darrell-El writes, the Black's Law Dictionary. Oh, all right. Give me 1 second. All right. Y'all hang with us. Darrell-El is going to look up something for us. You want to stick around. You should, you're going to benefit. So hang in there with us. All right. Let's let Darrell-El get this information to us before we go, okay? All right, so I'm sending it now. All right, I just sent it, Darrell-El. You should get it. You should get it in a second. All right, there you go. Whoo-wee. Where am I? All right. So let me check the chat, see if anything else. So while we wait on Darrell-El, I'm going to invite y'all to our Saturday 10 a.m. Saturday morning at 10 a.m. class. It's a live online class. Y'all welcome to come. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. You're going to learn a whole lot more than what you're learning here. If you show up, you're going to learn a whole lot more than what you're learning here. It is an academic, scholarly experience. It's going to be fun. It's fun. And you're going to learn. You're going to learn a lot. So, y'all welcome to come. Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have to register. The registration link is in the description area of this video. Make sure you read the registration, the class description, y'all, okay? And then also support us. I'm asking everybody to support us by subscribing to 101 Ancient Ibaryath. This is this purple banner ad you see on the screen. This helps you to reclaim your heritage. This is our language, Ibaryath. 101 Ancient Ibaryath is a streaming online course that will teach you how to translate the scriptures yourself. You can eliminate the need to have a pastor or a rabbi or anybody to teach you. Okay? You're going to learn how to translate. This is the beginning. This is step one. This is an extremely comprehensive course. It's packed with information. It tells you everything about the pictographs there is to know. It shows you the culture and the language. It gives you a deep dive into grammar, and the Ibaryath word studies are absolutely amazing, and it's fun to do. So y'all support us. It's only $1 for 1 day and then $10 a month. Darrell-El writes, that is the Black's Law Dictionary. I have that one. I am requesting the Ballantine Dictionary. Yeah, I just sent that to you, Darrell. I sent you the Ballantine Dictionary. In the first email, I emailed that to you first. That was the one you emailed to me. And then I emailed it to you just now. I'll email it again to you. I'm forwarding what you sent me for the Ballantine Dictionary. You'll see it in the subject. All right, I just sent it to you, Darrell. I just sent it to you. So if y'all like what you're learning, if you like what you've been learning with us, if you like my teaching style, make sure you come to class Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you're going to learn a tremendous amount. In that class, we work the concepts and principles that you'll learn in the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course, okay? We're using the principles and concepts that you learn in the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course that you're looking at on your screen, okay? We do a deep dive etymologically, linguistically, into Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 through 29. We go in and look at every word, look at their etymological meaning, their part of speech, the morphology, how the word is constructed, any associated grammar rules, and then we actually create our own rendering, right? We make a determination as to whether or not that verse was rendered properly and honestly, and then we render it ourselves. And you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked at what you find in the original language, the Ibaryath, versus what was written in the English. And now you are inside of the mind of these people who use the documents to enslave us religiously, mentally. Y'all follow what I'm saying? So it's all there for y'all. Be sure y'all support us. For those of you who've already subscribed to 101 Ancient Ibaryath, I want to say thank you. I definitely appreciate it very, very much, because it's with those funds we're able to write more books, create more classes, and I'm able to do what I'm doing right now. Okay? I'm able to do what I'm doing right now. Darrell writes, no, I was requesting that email. Yeah, Darrell, I just sent it to you again. Let's see. Darrell writes, one of the scholars said he was. Okay. Yeah, Darrell, I sent it to you. So you can check for it. You should have gotten it by now. So, a matter of fact, while we wait on Darrell, I want to show y'all some more about the course. Let me read this course to y'all. Okay, 101 Ancient Ibaryath. There's 113 self-study video lessons where you will learn the original language of the ancient Hebrews of the Bible, taught in a non-doctrinal way. This course is priceless, mind-blowing, and life-changing. Instruction is enthusiastic, powerful, content-rich, and comprehensive, packed, overloaded with pure Ibaryath. First, this is the first and only course of its kind. Learning a language takes years of practice and effort. You will not be Ibaryath literate after completing this introductory level course. This course was created just for you, Yasharala, all you Moors. If this course is so amazing and priceless, why is it almost free? The answer is because we want everyone to be able to afford to learn Ibaryath, because we must return to the Most High as a nation, not as individuals. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1 through 3. So, if you are able, please generously support this course by buying our books, enrolling in our courses, donating, becoming a member of our website, and subscribing to our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn channel, our Facebook channel, our Twitter channel. Okay, Facebook is Yasapa. With your generous support, we will be able to continue offering this priceless course for almost free. Without your support, we cannot, because it costs money to keep all of this stuff going, y'all. Thank you in advance for your generous and continuous support. I am Dr. Yasapa, MD, MBA. To donate, Cash App is $. No, don't do Cash App, y'all. Don't do only do PayPal. PayPal.me/Zion Law School. Scroll down so you can see the market value is 10 grand. I kid you not. Compare, go out and price compare. Okay, so here you click on subscribe. You get your $1 trial offer, and then after that, it's only $10 a month. Now go to part 1. You continue scrolling down, you'll see the syllabus. Part 1, this is the introduction. Part 2, that's everything pictographs and your word studies. Part 3 is grammar, everything grammar. So y'all go ahead and check out the syllabus on your own and subscribe. Support what we do so we can do more for you. All right. So let's see, where are we? Darrell-El writes, I'm the original email I was requesting and showing in the Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, that it was in the Monster Human Comparison. Darrell, I'm going to have to search for that because I don't really know which one it is right now. I know what you're talking about. These are the images that you sent me, that I asked you if you would want to do a presentation about it, but I don't know which ones they are. And right now, I'm out of energy. I need to eat. I haven't eaten today. So we've been going two and a half, almost 2 hours and 25 minutes. So I need to eat, Darrell. But let's do this. Let's communicate by email, and then we can do this tomorrow. Is that okay with you? We can do it tomorrow because I'm starting to feel a little lightheaded. I need to eat. Let's see. Darrell-El writes, one of the scholars had the PDF in the prior show, and he was going to share it. Okay. I don't know if I got it from him. At least I don't think I got it from him. I don't recall it. But anyway, we get it squared away. Let's communicate by email, and then we can get it done. Get it done that way. But thank you, Darrell-El, for volunteering to do that, and putting the effort in that you put into it. You know, I appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else appreciates it too, man. You know, these comments are really gonna help people. So I need to eat, y'all. So I'm going to say Shalawama. So Darrell-El, let's communicate by email. so that we can have it done tomorrow and provide it for the people. Excellent, excellent. Darrell-El says, okay. All right, thank you, thank you. So with that, fam, Shalawama, please remember, if you haven't already subscribed, to subscribe, but definitely like and share the video. Support us by subscribing. Show up next Sunday. Subscribe to the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. So with that, Shalawama, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Shalawama.